and it is 12 a.m. A little bit past. Uh, Hi, Suho, my dog. I just got back from Thundersnake Atsugi down in Kanagawa. It's a venue I really like because of the stage and the sound and the lights, but it's about an hour away, so it can be a bit tough. 2 hours round trip. Um, Today was fun. It's been a while since I've seen these two bands. It's been a few months at least, maybe November of last year. But it was Jekyll Ronove. It was their 10th year anniversary as a band, and Whiskey Dust performed as the opening act. So that was really nice to hear again. And hey, what's going on, Kevin? And you just realize it's just nice to get some good old like hard rock. You know, as much as I've been enjoying like the metalcore, and kind of all the mishmash of genres with certain bands, mm, the band like Whiskey Dust, with a band like Jekyll Ronove, like you know what you're getting. It's very straightforward, like very straight rock. And in no way does just straight rock mean it's anything less. Um, you know, it's like if you have a simple steak, don't mess with it. A good steak is a good steak. Just cook it right, which is what I feel that these two bands do. Hey, Jeff, what's going on? So yeah, I am tired. I am still under the weather, which is really, really frustrating. Um, yeah, it's like I'll get better and then I'll get worse and I'll get better and then I'll get worse. The reason why I'm able to do a live stream at this time of the day or night, 12 a.m., is because I have the day off tomorrow. It is, I believe, the Emperor's birthday. Or was it Buddha? One of those. Yeah, I did rest a lot today because, to be honest, Friday night after work, I was just like, oh my gosh, can I make it out to the show? Can I go? I don't know. And I told myself, don't think that way. Rest a lot, a lot, a lot. Just don't do anything. Be good enough to get out to the show. Hey, what's going on, Taylor? Or her Empress. Yeah. Is Alan still around, like, in my home? He went to the... Who was it? There was Dizzy Metal. No worries, man. There was, it was in Osaka. He saw Dizzy Metal, Kakume Meroic. Who was it? I think it was maybe I Continue. There was one more. It was 4 bands playing in Osaka, but I don't remember exactly. So that's the last that I recall of what he was doing. But that's that. But yeah, thanks guys for those of you who watched my chat with Alan. And as much as it was nice to talk with him, definitely my favorite part was when Dimrays popped up out of nowhere. Well, not out of nowhere. I mean, they came out of the venue. But it's just for those who did watch the video, you get an idea of how those girls can be, especially with Naho, the bassist. And if you've seen photos that I've taken of her, you get an idea of what kind of performer she is. You know, I think the first show they played at Cyclone, the first show of the year they played at Cyclone, she was so like into it. She like slipped and fell back and like fell on her ass. And she was just laughing. But yeah. Excuse me. All right. Man, sorry guys. So last week was yeah, last week was Brideer, right? Yeah, last week was Bright Deer, Mutant Monster. I still have my two Czeckies. Um, so I really would love to see them again, and I do hope that they do another show, that they do maybe do another tour, even if it takes a little bit of time. And then, of course, my photo. It sucks because it came out really blurry, like the actual photo's blurry, not even just like this. But yeah, I really like just being up there in front with Ayumi. She's my current composer crush. I just think she's such an amazing musician. Um, but yeah, so this week, it was very last minute, the Dimrays show, but since it was in Shimokitazawa, and anytime there's a show in Shimokitazawa, it's very close to me. What's going on, Peter? It's really close to me, like anything within 10 minutes. Um, and when I checked the map, biking from work to the venue would have been 15 minutes. So I actually tested the night before. I was like, okay, so this is where it is. This is where I need to go. This is where I can park. Um, and then I realized that I was wearing not leggings. What do you call those? Those like legging pants? It's Heat Tech from Uniqlo. I forgot what you call it. But what do you call that? But yeah, so I wore that when I went there the first time, and it's really tight on my legs. So no, it's not yoga pants. It's just warmers. Is it just called warmers? And I realized it made it hard for me to bike. So like I planned everything to make sure that I was able to get from work to the venue as fast as I could. So it did take 15 minutes. Biked hard, I biked fast. Just again, everything laid out. I got there, I arrived. I figured I would probably barge in a little bit into their set, but it turned out that they were still waiting. And actually, the cool thing was that that's where I had planned on going regardless, no matter what. I was like, I wanted to see Dimrays again. I wanted to take photos for them. And then it turned out that Alan was going to be at that show. So then I thought, okay, that's cool. So I can see Alan and I can see Dimrays. It works out. And anytime somebody comes over, whether it be like again Ryan, John Reese previously, Alan now, I do want to meet up with them. I do want to connect with them, and I do feel like we do have uh, a shared purpose, a shared goal, and so I think it's really important to at least meet up, to just talk, connect, and maybe plan for the future if possible, if and when possible. So yeah, that's kind of what happened with Alan, and then we saw Dimrays. It was great. Tapped him on the shoulder during the show. He's like, "Oh, hey, were you here the whole time?" I was like, "Yeah, I've been here. I was just taking photos. I was watching you get all goofy and try to crowd surf." Because he's a bigger guy and he's a little bit heavier. Not fat, but he's heavier compared to other Japanese fans. So they had to really use their upper body strength and their leg muscles to get him up. But it was a lot of fun. If you did watch our chat, like Dimray shows are always one of the most energetic, tons of energy. People are so hype and ready. And I think you get into a routine with certain bands. Like certain bands, you know what to expect. And once you have that expectation, you go in with that attitude. And it really keeps the entire show positive for those certain bands. And Dimrays is definitely one of them. So yeah, I mean, there has never been a Dimray show where the crowd hasn't gotten a little bit crazy. And even with about like 15, 20 people like in that packed, little sardine can, it was still a great time. But yeah, once the show was finished, I said hi to the girls, and then I was like, "Hey, Alan, do you want to maybe do a video? Just chat a bit." He's like, "Yeah, let's do it." So then I kind of thought it'd be cool to do it inside the stairwell, like right outside. I didn't realize that people would be taking the stairs to go up and down. I just assumed that the elevator was the only way. And so, as we were doing it, there were a few times where people were walking up and down, or they saw us. I saw feet anyway behind us. They went back up. So, to all those people, gomen nasai. I do apologize. I will probably not do another video at a stairwell, but at that time I thought it would be fun and cool just to be right there. And it worked out in the end because we did get a chance to see Dimrays, including the support members, drummer Kano and guitarist Maki. So that was really fun. And if you guys did see our interview, I mean our chat with Alan, and then also his blog on the Dichotic channel, you do see that he does a little reaction video with him, and they had a good time too. So I'm really glad that Alan had a chance to meet up um, with Dimrays, you know, with Nana from Gangire. Oh, hey, what's going on, Alan? No problem at all. With Uyu from Dizzy Metal. Yeah, Dizzy Metal is a lot of fun, and I think Alan experienced that, and I'm sure, you guys will see some footage. There's already a video I posted of Ratatata on our channel that I had recorded last year. So check it out. It's really fun. It's a really fun show, Dizzy Metal. And even if you're not the biggest baby metal fan, um, like, you know, I've described it as that you have an arena stadium band that is cramped into a little live house venue, but you have the same sort of energy and excitement. Um, and there's an intensity and there's a familiarity and there's a comfort and there's a friendship within that community of a live house that you won't find at an arena or a stadium. And it changes things and it really brings everyone together. Like, people are just like fully on board. And it's a great time. So even if you're not a fan of Dizzy Metal, you're guaranteed just a really fun, exciting, just memorable time with Dizzy Metal. Um, and I do think that Baby Metal has some really great songs. Uh, yeah, I don't love all of them, but there's very few bands where I love every song, but they're still really good. So anyhow, so yeah, that was really fun, and I really am glad he got that experience, and I hope he gets to meet more bands, and I do hope that whatever exposure he can provide for these bands that he does. So Alan, do what you can. Um, so yeah, that was Thursday, and then headed back home, and then went to work the next day. But I was really, really, really tired, and I think that kind of threw me for a bit of a loop, because I had to start working on that video and posting it, editing it. So it's tough. I won't lie. Um, yeah, it's tough to do all this stuff. Yeah, that's right. You were there with me. That's right. It was at Nishikawaguchi Hearts. Okay, so that was Thursday. Friday, just home. You know, did some work. Saturday, yesterday, stayed home all day, edited photos, video, did more work, and then today, yeah, this is really cool. Um, so the band Jekyll Ronove, this was their 10th year anniversary show. It was really cool and special because it's usually just the singer and the guitarist. So Jekuru, which she goes by, and then Naoto, the guitarist. And he had contacted me and said, "Oh, Peter, will you be coming to our show? Like, can you come?" And I thought, "Oh, okay. Did you need photos?" And he said, "Oh, well, if you take photos, that's great. Yeah, at Thunder Snake. If you take photos, that's great, but it would just be cool if you were there." And so I really appreciated that. Um, he's a really sweet guy. He's really humble, down to earth, very kind, very kind. Um, just a really cool guy. I really like him a lot. And then Jekyll as well. Like she's such a warm sweetheart, and I mean she's I'll say this. She's sexy. She is sexy. She wears this full-on leather outfit, like the zip up. Not that far removed from Black Widow. Um, but she's a sweetheart. Like she was really sweet, and she was just so happy that I came. She's like, "Thank you so much for coming today." Um, so yeah, today a few things happened that were pretty cool, and I'll list those things. So, most of the day I slept, I slept, I slept. I was like, just sleep, just rest, so that I'll be better, at least good for the show. Um, got to the venue, saw some old friends. There are a handful of guys who are almost always at a Whiskey Dust show, who are at a Jekyll Ronove show, who are at a Hades show, Shoujo S. Like there's a few certain bands, like there's a certain circle of fans who go to like all these bands. They're kind of connected. Um, it was good to see them. I haven't seen them in a little bit, but it was Whiskey Dust up first. And the first thing that I'll mention is that my my little step ladder for the camera, I had left at Thundersnake last year. I think November 3rd was the last time I was there, so like almost 4 months ago. And I told Aya from Whiskey Dust, "Oh shoot, I left my step there. Can you just take care of it? Hold on to it." So I finally got it back, and I now have 3 steps because I left that one there. I bought a new one to replace that, and then I bought another one from Daiso, the little discount 100 yen store, um, because I had to go to another show right away, and I forgot that one. So I have 3 steps now. I can bring all 3 and just like have one in the middle, two on the sides. So yeah, so that's one thing. The other thing is that I met Erica Van Halen's mother today, who is not Mrs. Van Halen. I'm not sure what her last name is, but she was sitting at the Whiskey Dust merch table, and I was setting up my camera and stuff. And then um, I forget exactly how it started. I think she asked, "Oh, are you Peter?" Um, was that it? It was something, and then but she knew who I was, and she was like, "Oh, I've seen some of your photos." She was like, "Oh, I'm Erica's mom." No, she she doesn't dye her hair. I actually might be dark brown, maybe dyed just, darker color. Very pretty woman. But she was saying, "Oh, like I'm Erica's mother," and I was like, "Oh my gosh, that's so cool." And I told her like I love to hear Erica play. Like Eddie Van Halen was like my total hero growing up, and when I hear Erica play, um, she makes me happy because I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Erica's mom did actually feed me. She gave me a chocolate today, so I hear you. Yeah, she's really sweet. So there was that. And prior to that, actually, when I walked into the door over at the Jekyll Ronove table, I saw Manamix. And I don't know if any of you guys who know Manamix is. It's Manamix. So if you look for her on her Twitter, also even Instagram, like you can find her pretty easily. But she plays guitar for Shoujo S. And what was kind of astounding was that, "Oh, what are you doing here?" And it turns out, when I was talking with her about it, it turns out that her and Naoto, the guitarist for Jekyll Nove, they actually started playing in a band like way before long, like over a decade ago. Um, and he's her senpai. But yeah, so You know, one of the really cool things about sort of traveling and journeying around um, in this web of Japanese musicians and artists is how they're all connected. And yeah, that was kind of a cool one, an unexpected one. Because I see them in like separate circles because you know they're not quite together, and so that was really cool to talk to her about it. Her share that they actually started in a band together, doing songs, like anime songs, and I was like, oh, what? But then he ended up going into Jekyll Ronove and took off with that. Um, and so, but they've known each other for like a long, long time, and I was like, that's really cool. So I took a photo with her also today, and then with the band. Um, that was kind of cool too with Jekyll Renove. I would have been just okay with like a photo with like just him, the guitarist Naoto. I think because I'm closest with him. But today was special for their 10th anniversary in that they brought back their former players. So, as I mentioned, usually it's just two of them. It's the singer and the guitarist, and they have backtracks for the bass and for the drums. But today they brought back like the members that had played with them before they had left, and it's such a different vibe. It was really cool, and I'll go into that. But they so he brought me to the stage while they were wrapping up and they were cleaning up, but he's like, oh, this is Peter, like, it'd be cool if we could all take a photo all together with him. I was like, oh, that's really cool, thank you so much. So I took a photo with like all of them, and I'll definitely post that on Twitter, on MNN, and then on Facebook, and I'm sure Instagram as well. All these social media, ugh, it's too much. I hate it. But it's like you have to do it. It's a necessary evil. Um, so yeah, that was really cool. And again, I appreciated just being there tonight. So those are the three kind of things. It was getting my step back was nice. Meeting Erica's mom was really cool. She gave me chocolate, and that was really sweet. And then seeing Monomix there and hearing a little bit of background. It's always fun to see how people are connected. Um, it's like people say 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. Um, have you guys heard that? Do you guys know that? Um, Whereas in Japan, I feel like it's maybe 2 degrees of Mayo. I feel like everybody knows everyone, if only by a couple of degrees, and Mayo can connect with like half of Japan's musicians. So yeah. But Whiskey Dust was up first. It was a 45-minute set. Aya, she straightened her hair back. If you guys remember, she did the whole perm thing. It was cool, but I definitely like straighter hair. And she looked good. She looked good. And her vocals, she was belting stuff out with the power that I was like, has it always been this strong? Like she gave a little extra oomph with some songs. I don't remember which songs in particular because I was doing photos for them as well. But yeah, but then but then Aya did slip up, and then she missed a certain section in a song, and then when she missed it, she actually said, "Ah, machigaeta." So she actually said, "Civilian." Yeah, just her faces. Um, so she's like, "Ah, machigaeta," made a mistake, and then that made her slip up again a little bit on the same song. So it's not a big deal. Um, there were cameras there. Team of Thrash was there. Marshall Shige, he does a lot of like online reports, reviews for various bands. He did one for Hades, I think a couple times. He does it for all these other bands as well. So he was there. And then I was taking photos, so it was a bit busy. It's always a bit busy when there's an event with that kind of stuff. That's how it was with which one was it? It was a Dimray show, but I forget if it was it was the one with Twilight, where they were the ones. Yeah, I do still have it. Maybe I'll take it off. It does get bothersome in the wind. Um, but yeah, uh, so it was a bit hectic. It was one of the more packed shows at Thundersnake that I've been to. So I had to maneuver my way around. I was taking photos. But yeah, it's again, it's really good to hear Aya and Erica. There's that combination, those two. Um, I enjoy it a lot, and it's not every show that they do My Easy, which is the ballad. I forget. I believe it's off of Whiskey Dust 2. Yeah, Whiskey Dust 2. But man, that thing makes me cry. Like I think just about every time I hear it, and when I see Aya sing it, she kind of gets lost in the moment of that song, and yeah, yeah. There were quite a few. Well, to be fair, um, they have those oil barrels, those drums, set up like on the floor sometimes. So there was one. I don't know why, but there was one set up like kind of in the middle area, and that kind of made it a little bit difficult. But yeah, there was still a lot of people. I mean, it was a 10th year anniversary, and so um, and then Jekyll Ronove. So they had their first and second set. The first set was just the two of them with the backing tracks as usual, and then they had the bassist and drummer come up, and they did a few songs then. And I don't know the history very well of Jekyll Ronove, but then they had a second guitarist come in. So it started off with the two of them, and then they took a break, and then it was the four of them when they added the bassist and drummer. And then at the very end, at the encore, they brought up another guitarist. And I was looking at one of the fans that I'm pretty close to, and he was like, "Oh my God!" So it must have been really, really special. So you could feel it. You feel the energy. And yeah, I mean, you can play with backing tracks. You don't have to have a full band, but having a full band does make a difference. I mean, that's just kind of the facts. So I'm glad that they had that, and I hope they have more opportunities. Hey, what's going on, Ronnie? I do hope that they have more opportunities to play as a band. I don't know if that's possible, just because people do end up, they move on with life. They move on with life, and they have to take care of stuff, whether it be work or whatever else. So, yeah, it was cool. It's a special experience. That is something that may not come ever again. So, yeah, they do. They have jobs. Unless you're like a really well off um, person who lives at home. Like Kanami, I think, because, she comes from a multifamily. I'm pretty sure she didn't work at all. She just stayed home, was taken care of by her parents, and then just wrote music all the time. So, and I also think Ureoto is the same way from Palaneo. I do think, I think Ureoto is the same. I do feel like it seems like she's well off because she goes to a lot of these little bakeries. When I check her Twitter, she goes to a lot of these bakeries and is always just like taking photos of like her cupcake or her cake and her coffee, and she's all dolled up, um and I think she uses her time just like working on her music and composing, which is great because I think Palaneo has some really awesome stuff. If you listen to their EP or their full album, Octave and then Score, it's great stuff. So yeah, there's definitely a connection. I feel like Ryoto and Kanami should get together and like hang out a bit. That would be an interesting combination. Um, she is MD. What is MD? Like a medical doctor, MD? I don't know what. Yeah. Um. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Chad, the drummer for Mutant Monster. She's cute. Hello, hello. What's going on? So yeah, those were my two shows. There is, mm, Gangira is playing tomorrow, and I haven't seen them in a bit. And they are going to be playing in Shimokitazawa. They are playing along with the Bear, the Bunny. And I had actually never heard of that band, and I listened to some of their stuff today. It's pretty good. It actually reminds me of Birthday Massacre a bit. There's some synth electronic and it goes a little bit hard and heavy, but it's also very melodic. Um, so it's Gangire, it's them. They're the main act, coming from the States, and then Sailing. Forgot the other band's name, but it's 5,000 yen. Um, and I feel like I should save up as much as I want to see Gangire. And even though I didn't pay for tonight's show, I did buy a couple of CDs to support them, and I got this beanie to support Dimrays. So you got to pick and choose. I don't know. Maybe I'll go, but then wouldn't be the worst thing if I didn't go. I could do work on other stuff. So, but yeah, that is the struggle for me, right? Trying to decide which shows to go to, which ones to not go to now. Um, yeah, it's hectic. It's really, really hectic. Um, and that sounds bad. I'm not complaining in the sense like, because I know people would kill to be in my position where I am, right? People would kill to be in Japan, seeing all these shows, all these bands, interacting with all these incredible musicians. Like, I am absolutely a lucky son of a bitch. And I do not, for a second, take that for granted. I've built relationships and connected with so many people here. Um, and yeah, no, again, I'm very, very grateful. But the tough thing is trying to, I don't know. I'm still figuring things out. I'm still figuring out my role here in Japan. Still figuring out my role with these bands and who I am to them and how they view me, like who I am. I don't know. It's kind of weird, but that could be a whole nother sort of personal diary. So I won't share too much of that with you. Yeah, that is, yeah. Um, yeah, having a job. You gotta do what you gotta do. I did re-sign my contract with my current job. So I will be there for at least another year, and I'll do the best that I can. Um, but we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, the Bunny the Bear. I was reading and it'd be good to see more of you, Rich. I see you like once in a while, but it'd be good to see you more. Um, if you guys haven't checked out the Bunny the Bear, check them out. Check out their oldest songs. Go to their channel and check out like their oldest stuff and then their newest stuff, because their original singer, who's got an incredible voice, he's got an incredible voice, but he passed away in I think 2020 and was replaced with the female vocalist, who's really great too. But the original singer, he's pretty phenomenal. I read a little bit in comments, but when I heard, I was like, oh yeah, this guy has a very distinct voice, and it's really outstanding. So yeah, Alan is living the dream. What is the dream? What is the dream? This is what I've been sucking on to get my vitamin C. Yeah, so this is what, the last month. the last month of February, the last week of February, and then we go into March. So marching onward. Um, yeah, right? Come on, Ellen. How many dreams do you want? Goodness. Totally free will and no bills. Yeah, no bills. That would be something. That would help a lot. Uh, gosh darn. Oh, so March. March is March is really going to be something. So I've mentioned it before, but in March I'll have two shows that I feel are very significant and I can't wait to participate in. The first is on March 9th, and that's for Undying Words. It will be their first live show with the band. Their EP will drop, Raven in the Abyss. Um, you have The Frail, you have Sai Sega, you have Phantom X Cavalier, who I haven't seen, that last band, so I'm curious. I guess I should check up on them. If things work out, I'm not sure how the schedule will be for them, but I asked Aya if I could do a short interview with Undying Words, but we'll see, because I do realize that's having an interview is much less important than doing performing a good show. So, but that's gonna be great. Like I think Kasumi is incredible. She's an incredible vocalist. And if you guys haven't heard, like after this or even now while you're watching this, check out Undying. It's the latest track that they released digitally off of the EP. It's really good. I love it. It's really, really good. Yeah. And I'm pretty excited to see Kano, the drummer, who is support for Dimrays most of the time, to see them play all together. Like, that's gonna be fun. So, yeah. So that's gonna be an awesome time. And then Sally and Mellows, that's coming up March 20th. So I'll be doing photos for Undying Words. I'm sure I'll do photos for The Frail as well. I just have to ask. And then March 20th is when Sally's live event is coming up. It's at Wildside. Um, and that's going to be a hoot because it is Hades, it's Mellows, it is Little Lilith, and then it will be Sally's session band. So that's going to be really fun and exciting, and I'll be taking photos for them. I think I should ask, I don't know if it's possible, but I should ask if I can do a quick interview with Sally as well that day, just to ask her about the album, maybe a few other stuff. So yeah, March, just those two shows alone, I feel like are really significant to be a part of because it's a first for both of them. Undying Words, I mean, they just formed as a band, and so having their first live show, but then Sally dropping her first like album, her solo album, like that's really, really cool. So yeah, that's exciting. And to be a part of that is really, really cool. And to be honest, and this is where I think, I don't know if this is a problem for me. It's not a problem. It's not a problem, but I realize I don't necessarily have this killer instinct to become bigger. Like, I realize what I really enjoy doing is investing and diving into like smaller things, like smaller bands. Um, uh, Jason Papa. Who is Papa? Hey, this is weird. Sorry, Jason. I don't. Wait, do I even know you? No, November was rough. I was having issues with my foot. Um, and there's a lot of work going on, so I did take. Uh, oh, your papa. So yeah, I I took a couple of weeks off, I think. Hey, Papa A, it's Daddy P. Um, so as I was saying, like I don't I'm not like, oh my gosh, oh thank you though. Thanks, Jason. I don't feel like, oh my gosh, I need to see Baby Metal or, Hanabie and um I'm sorry about that. But, like I feel like I should be more, you know? I should be more aware, and I am trying to again grow the channel so that I have a larger platform. I've been saying that since the end of last year is that I really want MNN to grow and become bigger, as well as sort of my own personal business, so that if I invest in and promote these bands, that more people will take to them more quickly. As much as I love the fact that you guys are so dedicated and that you guys actually enjoy hearing me every week, to have a larger platform means that these bands have more of an opportunity to gain more fans, more viewing, more listening, more money, more opportunities, and then the dream, to some extent, right? At least for a certain amount of time, is to tour and to go to other countries. And I think for a lot of bands, it's to do it in America. Um, Although, of course, if they go elsewhere as well, that's great. Oh man, that was really heartbreaking. So today, Mayu Nemophila, they had to cancel their show at Nagano because of her throat. Like she had strained it a bit, and when they were rehearsing, she's like, "I can't do this. I can't give it my all." So they had to cancel the show, which was really unfortunate. And then a few days prior, Brideer announced that they have to cancel every show they have planned for Europe and the UK, which is just so heartbreaking for me personally because I really, really like I love Brideer as a band and I really want the best for them. And I was so excited for them to think that they would have the opportunity to go and do these shows, to do these dates, and gain more fans and to build like a much bigger fan base. And their new album, Born Again, it's just it's amazing. It's an incredible album. Um, and so that was really unfortunate to hear about with Kimmy. I don't know exactly what the deal is with her throat, but it really sucks. It really does suck. Um, so I feel really bad. I can't even imagine how heartbroken Kimmy feels, um, and how bad she feels about it for to the other bandmates, and then to the fans. Like that's ugh. Yeah. I mean, here's me like, my foot and, getting sick and having to not go to a show. But then when you're the headliner of the show, it's different, right? So that really sucks. But I do wish Kimmy a really quick and speedy recovery. And I hope that with the time that they do have while they're here, they can think of other opportunities to kind of promote themselves and, get some attention. And then for Mayu, like our throats, right? They're very precious. These Our throats are very, very precious. So, um, yeah, you gotta take care of yourselves. Yeah, I used to sing a lot, and I used to just think, hey, if my voice is hoarse, then great. If it hurts, that's great. That just means it's getting torn to shreds, and it'll sound even cooler. And then you realize, like, no, no, that is not the way to go. So yeah. Um, all right. I don't want to go on too long. I haven't been looking too much into too many shows beyond March. Um, just because I don't want to be overwhelmed, and it can get overwhelming. I hope that you guys will understand if at times, like, you know I forget things or I miss things. Yeah, it's just hard to always stay on top of things. But if there are any shows or any bands in particular that you want to point me towards, maybe you want to encourage me to go to, um, if there's nothing overlapping, then sure, why not? So I would love to promote bands that you enjoy. Hopefully, it's the same ones, but that's not always the case, right? So yeah, Mr. B, Mr. B. Um, I think we're all wishing him well. So yeah. All right. I am tired. And I don't want to sort of like ramp. Any recommendations for this Saturday, Sunday? This Saturday and Sunday? Here? Wait, what? Today is Sunday. Wait, say that one more time. Say that one more time. This coming. Where are we here? This March 1st and 2nd. No, not right now, to be honest. Not right now. There's definitely stuff out there, but yeah, it's I've only had my eyes on Undying Words and on Sally. Heading over to okay. Let's see. Oh, yeah, we're Facebook friends, so I will message you if I see anything worth attending. But nothing popping up at the moment. So, but yeah, all right, guys. I want to thank you guys so much. I really appreciate you guys supporting. If any of you, I'm sure you guys are subscribed to our channel, but if not, we're closing in on 3,800, and I do hope that before summer we'll hit 4,000, and then maybe by the end of the year we'll hit 10. No, probably not, but yeah, please continue to support, and always just reach out to these bands and encourage them, and share whatever love you have. So thank you guys for watching. I will get back to you. For anybody else who has questions, please write it in the comments below. Please like, and I will see you guys again soon. Thanks, guys. You guys have a good day, good evening, good afternoon, good night. Okay? Bye.